Hello, good morning. So today we are going to start your topic double integrals in polar coordinates. So in the previous lecture we did how we can solve double integrals in Cartesian coordinates, and there the main thing that we have done is how from the region of integration, you can find the limits of integration of x and y. So the main point there discussed was that how from the region of integration you can derive the limits of integration, whether you have to integrate first with respect to x or with respect to y. So you have to integrate first with respect to x or with respect to y. That depends upon the region of integration. So depending upon region of integration, looking at the region of integration, we choose the order of integration. Otherwise you can integrate in any order, x first, y later, y first, x later. But since we choose in such a way that the order of integration is such a way that the region need not to be split, so that we do not have any there thing that we have to split that region. So if we are successful in successful in not splitting the region by taking one of the order of integration, then we should go for that. However, when we have a question of reversing the order of integration, okay, when we have a question of reversing the order of integration, where we have been given something like, yes, we have been given something like this type of integral. We have been given something like this type of integral, say sketch the region of integration, and solve it by reversing order of integration. So in that case you have to change the order of integration. First thing is to sketch the region, and in such type of question where we have to reverse the order of integration, it is definite that the region is going to split into two or more regions or parts. So in such type of question, using these limits of integration, you first plot the or sketch the region of integration, then you change the order, and for that we have done question in the previous example that how on reversing the order in most of the cases when the question will be asked from this topic, then they got split into two or more parts or two or more regions. So this is the question where when you reverse the order, limits get changed because one of the limits of variable depends upon the limits of other variable. That is why they are changed. If they are constant, the limits of x are constant, a to b, limits of y are constant, c to d, then the limits remain same on changing the order of integration. Now next is your double integrals in polar coordinates. So before that we must be knowing graphing in polar coordinates. So the reason why we switch to double integrals in polar coordinates is that it is not because one of the fundamental things that we are going to discuss or we have discussed in the previous lecture is that all the integration that is involved in the double integral that we have done till to this lecture, that depends upon the region of integration. That is, first we must be able to sketch that region of integration by using the bounding curves whatever has been given. Now sometimes it is not very easy to sketch that bounding curves or region of integration in Cartesian coordinates. For an example, if I give you this function and I just write this function in front of you, and I am saying to you that plot the graph of this function. plot the graph of this function. Say in the region of integration, in the question of double integral, the region of integration is given, and in that region of integration, one of the bounding curve is this one. So now you can see, looking at the curve given in this form, it looks very difficult to plot this curve. Why? Because first of all, it is not given in the form. We know how to plot the curves of the form y equals to fx. So this given expression of the curve, this expression is not in explicit form. It is given in implicit form. First thing. Second thing, usual method of graphing will not be used here, because first of all the usual methods that we study are based upon the explicit form y equals to fx. And say even if we have some other method by putting the values of some points or other thing, then it is going to be difficult to plot this curve. So what is the remedy? We have to solve the double integral where one of the bounding curve is this one. So how to solve this problem? So the problem is switch to polar coordinates. That is, if we change it into polar coordinates, its polar equivalent form is r equals to 1 minus cos theta, and this is one of the most, or this is a simple expression in polar coordinates, or a very simple curve in polar coordinates. So you can see from Cartesian, when we shift to polar, the curve, bounding curve that we will be using in the double integral, this equation curve becomes very simple, and then it is simple to sketch this curve because it is a very well-known curve in polar coordinates. However, its same Cartesian representation is very, very complicated. So that is the reason that we switch to polar coordinates, because sometimes the region of integration, while calculating double integrals, some of the bounding curves are too complicated to be drawn in Cartesian coordinates, and that is why we switch in that cases to polar coordinates. But it is not always the case that by switching to polar coordinates your life will be that much easy. The reason being, our first preference is always to work in Cartesian coordinates. However, when things become difficult, there we switch to polar. For an example, if we have a curve like this one, xy is equals to 4, y is equals to 4 upon x. You know this is a hyperbola. So it is better to work in Cartesian coordinates. But if I think that now every Cartesian must be changed to polar as polar helps me better, this is not going to be the case. First preference is always Cartesian. If the thing doesn't work there, then we switch to your polar. And here is polar equivalent is your r square cos theta sin theta is equals to 4. You can see here, it is difficult to plot this polar curve. Either at the moment you will not be able to understand why it is that much difficult, but at least from the expression you can see. Here it was a long expression. Here you get only this thing. Here it is just this thing, and in polar it becomes this one. And when we will doing the graphing in polar coordinates, we will see that this graph is not going to be that much easy as compared to Cartesian coordinates. So this is the reason that we switch to polar coordinates. So one thing is clear. Now let us come to the basics of your polar coordinates, because we have to plot the polar curves. We have to plot the polar curves for double integration for the region of integration. While computing double integrals and working with the region of integration, we will be plotting the polar curves as we did for the Cartesian coordinates. So for polar coordinates, we need two things. First is your pole, a fixed pole, and initial ray. These are the two things that are there in polar coordinates. O, that is a fixed pole, that is your fixed one, and initial ray, and your initial ray from O. Now these are the two things that define the polar coordinates. So coordinates, or let me write any point P in polar coordinates is represented, say you have point here, point P here is represented as PR theta. So any point in polar coordinates is represented by PR theta. You know this thing, but let us discuss it, have some review of this point R and theta. So every point P in polar coordinates is represented by PR theta, where this R is the directed distance from O to P, and theta is the directed angle that lines OP makes with the initial ray. So let me write it here in the next page. Let me draw it for your convenience again. Just I am going to write, because these are very important things. So PR theta, any point in polar coordinates where R is the directed distance. It is written directed. Okay, keep it in your mind. Directed distance from O to P. What is your directed distance means? R is positive, that is because this is the beauty of polar coordinates. R that can be in polar coordinates can be positive or it can be negative. So R is positive if it is taken in the direction of theta. It is taken in the direction of theta. What is that? Say you are at origin. Looking in the direction of theta. Theta is say 30 degree. Okay. Say this is your 0 degree. You are standing at origin, and this is your 0 degree. And say this is your 30 degree. You are looking in the angle of 30 degree. You are still at origin. So if you move in the direction of 30 degree, then R is taken to be positive, because you are looking in the direction of 30 degree. From origin you rotate 30 degree, and then you are looking in the direction of 30 degree. So when you move in the direction of angle 30, R is taken positive. However, if you step backwards, that is opposite to the direction of 30 degree angle theta, R is taken negative. So keep it in your mind, R is taken positive when you move in the direction of theta, whatever theta is given or you are taking. Considering yourself at origin, looking in the direction of theta, being at origin. And if you move backward or opposite to the direction of theta, R is taken negative. So it is positive, it is taken in the direction of theta, and R is negative if taken opposite to direction of theta. And this is very, very much important, because these all things are going to be used when we will sketch the polar curve. And theta is the directed angle, that line OP makes with initial ray. So theta is again a directed angle. You know this very well. Theta is taken positive if it is taken anticlockwise. If it is taken in anticlockwise direction, as we have taken in this figure, it is considered to be positive. Theta is positive. And theta is taken negative if it is taken clockwise. If it is taken clockwise or considered clockwise, that is opposite in the clockwise direction. If you are moving the theta, considering the theta, then theta is taken negative. So these is what the meaning of your directed R, directed theta, because R in polar coordinates can be positive, negative. Theta can also be positive, negative. Now, some of the important points regarding polar coordinates. Polar coordinates of any point PR theta are not unique. They are not unique. Why? Because for same point theta can have, or same point, let me write it, can be represented for infinite values of theta, and also R can be positive or negative. So this is the first point, that every polar coordinate has infinite many representation, or representation is not unique. What is the reason? The reason is that the theta, angle theta, it can have infinite many representations or values for the same point, and even R can be positive or negative. That is why we have no unique representation for any polar coordinate. It can have infinite many representations. For an example, if you say that origin, if I have to write the coordinates of origin, for you it is like 0, 0. That is actually in your Cartesian coordinate. It is in your Cartesian coordinate, 0, 0. But now you have to left the concept of Cartesian there, because if you if you club the concept of Cartesian with polar, then you will confuse. So keep those concepts of Cartesian there at the back end. Just now look only for the polar coordinates, because otherwise that will confuse you. Okay, so origin in polar coordinates is represented by this one. You see, R is 0. R is 0 means it is at origin. It is not moving any away from origin, because R, that is the distance from origin, is 0. It is 0. And theta, since you are at origin, say I am is at origin. This is the initial 0 degree A. So if I am looking at this angle, I am looking at 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, I am still at origin. No matter what theta I take, I will always remain at origin. So that is why for polar you have the representation 0 theta, and you can see even for R fixed, that is R is 0, theta varies. Theta can have infinite many values, and still origin has infinite many representation. Even R is your fixed. So this you can see how polar coordinates have infinite many representations. Now next is your, I am here taking an example. Find all the coordinates of point P to pi by 6. This example we are doing is just to show you that first thing, a polar coordinate has infinite many representation. Mathematically we will show that. Other thing, this example will also tell you how to take a point in polar coordinates, how R is positive or negative, how that works, how theta is positive, negative, how that works. So everything now you can see here in this example, because if these things from this example are clear, then you can easily then plot the polar curve, because this is the basic that we will be going to do in each and every question for plotting the points in polar curve. So first of all, let me just see that here the point 2 pi by 6. So what I did, I here say this is your 1 unit. I am saying 1 unit. 1 unit can be 1 centimeter, 1 meter. So I am taking this as 1 unit. Okay. Just this is for that some scaling for graph or points, but I take on polar of this polar coordinates, the point whatever I take, they have some scaling. For that, I am just taking this of 1 unit, length 1 unit, and here I just draw a circle of unit 1, just to see that this is the circle of unit 1, to remind me that I have the unit 1 of this length. This is my unit 1 of length 1. So what is the use of this? We will see. So this is, say, second unit. 1 unit I am taking equals to this one. It can be 1 centimeter, 1 meter. I just take it as. So 2 unit is here. So I now draw the circle of 2 units. So this gives me. See, it is not like then you have to plot the point 2 pi by 6. You take 1 here, you take 2 here, and then pi by 6 and you plot it. No. In polar, I told you earlier, just drop the concept of Cartesian there. Now concentrate here. Now since 30 degree. Now you can see here it is your pi by 4. Here it is your pi by 6. Here it is your pi by your 3. These arrays represent angle, a rough estimate for these angles. Okay. Similarly, this is pi by 2. This is your theta 0. Similarly, here you have the arrays. This is minus pi by 6, minus pi by 4, minus pi by 3, and then you have here 2 pi by 3, 120, 3 pi by 4, 135, and then 5 pi by 6, 5. So what is the purpose of telling you all these things? So that you can just get an idea that here the angle 90, 120, 135 most commonly used angles. These arrays help you that. If you are not even drawing these arrays, it is fine. Okay, you just get an idea that where these angles are and what is the length of the point which I have to distance of the point from origin which I have to draw now. So the point is 2 pi by 6. So it is here. So what I do now, listen very carefully. When we have to plot a point on polar coordinates, first of all, theta varies. Theta starts from that you are origin, you are looking in the angle theta equals to 0. You are looking in the direction of theta 0. You assume yourself at origin, looking in the direction of theta 0. Now what is theta? Theta is 30 degrees. So you rotate yourself in the angle of 30 degrees. So now you are at origin, but now your angle, you are looking in the direction of 30 degrees. So you are now at origin looking at the angle 30 degrees. Since you are looking in the direction of 30 degrees, so now if you take r positive, you will go in the direction of theta. So here r is 2. R is 2. So if I move, this is 1 unit, this is 2 units. That is, I took this distance as 1 unit, this distance as 2 units. So this is my point 2 comma pi by 6. So this is the point 2 comma pi by 6. It doesn't come like here is 2 and then here is your pi by 6, so I got this. No, this is wrong. This is in Cartesian. That is wrong. We can't apply that thing. It is only based on the theta and r. R is not to be taken along x-axis. That is wrong. That is the concept of Cartesian. We are not going to use that thing here. Okay? So this is not going to work here. We are not going to do like this anything here. For Cartesian, you look, first move theta, that is rotate yourself according to theta in clockwise, anti-clockwise, whatever is given. 30 positive, so you must move in the anti-clockwise direction. You are now looking in the direction of 30 degree. R is positive, so you will move in the direction of theta. 2 units. So you reach here. So you reach here. And this is your 2 pi by 6. So you can see that I am just here plotting this. Now you know that here your 2 pi by 6 is. Now say here it is your 2 pi by 6. Now I have to find the other representations of this point 2 pi by 6, and that too between minus 2 pi by to 2 pi by, minus 360 to 360, because these are the common representation that we usually use for graphing the polar curve. So we will restrict the representation only up to minus 2 by to 2 pi. Okay. So the thing is, I have to reach here, and I have reached here only from one point. That is, I have taken theta pi by 6, and then 2, I reached at that point. Now my next step is how I can reach here from any other angle, by taking any other angle, or by taking any other r, positive, negative, whatever. R will be same, R will be 2, but it can be positive, negative, and then any other combination of theta which can lead us to the same point. That is what the other representation of point. So you can see, I can reach here. Assume yourself at origin, pole. From pole, you are looking in the direction of theta equals to 0. You are at a pole looking in the direction of your theta 0. You have to reach the point 2 pi by 6, that is in the direction of 30 degree and 2. You have reached there using one representation. Now we are looking for other representation. Now rotate yourself clockwise. So that now you come like this thing. Now you go like this. You go clockwise. And this angle, now this angle is your 330, or that is your minus 330 minus 11 pi by 6. Let me write it properly. Minus 11 pi by 6 or minus 330 degree. Minus because we are rotating in clockwise direction. That is why theta is negative. And we are still at origin. Remember this in your mind. While trying to reach the same point, we have taken theta minus 330 degree. We just rotate clockwise, and then taking 330 degree, we just rotate clockwise, and then again we are in the same position or same angle. Here the point 2 pi by 6 lies. But now the difference is theta is taken minus 330 degree. We rotated in clockwise direction. This is done. Say you are at origin. Since we haven't moved your r, so we are still at origin. So now to reach this point, since we are looking in the direction of 330, and point is also in that direction. So r will be considered positive. So we now take two steps in this direction, r1, r2, and we reach the point 2 pi by 6. So r is 2, so again we reach the same point. Now by rotating ourselves clockwise, minus 330 degree, and taking r2 because point is in the same direction. So these are the two representation of the same point, and you can see here r is positive in both of the cases. R is 2 here, R is 2 here, positive. Now let us see, can we generate any other representation of this point, any other representation of this point. This is say 1, this is say 2. Let me draw this line properly. Yes, like this. Let me say this is pi by 6. This is 1, this is 2, this is 2 pi by 6. This representation we are looking for. Okay. Now we are to look for the values representation of this point where r can be taken negative or where is r negative. Now see, we have to reach this point. Okay. We have found one more representation of this point. Now another way to reach this point is what we can do. We are origin because first theta varies. First always we start with theta. Assuming ourselves at origin looking in the direction of theta 0. So we take anti-clockwise direction and move this much, sorry, rotate this much, and this is 180 plus 30, 210, 210 degree, or equals to your, in terms of your pi, it is your, yes, 7 pi by 6, 7 pi by 6, 180 plus 30 degree. So what is the situation now here? What is the situation here? You at our origin, you are our origin, you were looking at the angle 0, you rotate yourself anti-clockwise, and you are now looking in the direction of 210. That is directly opposite to the angle of 30 degree. You are looking in the direction of 210. So this is your 7 pi by 6 theta. You are in the origin looking in this direction. Okay, just let me make it a little bit fine. Okay. And you are looking in this direction. You are at our origin looking in this direction. You are looking in this direction, you have to go there. Point is lying in the direction opposite to the direction of 210. So what you will do, you will not take r positive, because if you take r positive, you will be moving in the direction of 210 and you will reach somewhere r1, r2. You will reach here. But this is not your destination. So destination is lying behind the angle in which you are looking. That is pi by 3. In the direction will directly opposite to the angle 210. So you will take r minus 2. That is, you are looking in this direction. You take step 1 backward, you take step 2 backward, and you get the point 7 pi by 6, minus 2 comma 7 pi by 6, and you reach again the same point. So this is how r taking negative, you can reach the same point. Okay. Now let us see one more representation of this point, that is the last representation. So here it is your angle of 30 degree. This is your pi by 6, and this is 1, this is 2 comma pi by 6. And now again r I have to take negative, and looking for the representation where r is negative, and between theta lie between minus 2 pi to 2 pi. So another representation is that now I am at origin looking in the direction of theta 0. I move clockwise in this direction up to here. So this is 180 minus 30, that is 150. That is your minus 5 pi by 6. Why? Because it is in clockwise direction, so theta is negative. So I take theta, I rotate myself on the origin in clockwise direction up to angle 150, minus 150, because it is in clockwise direction. So again I am at origin looking in the minus 150 direction, and point where I have to go, that is 2 comma pi by 6. That is lying on my back, because if I am looking in the direction of 150, then point is lying behind me. So if I take r positive, I will be here. If it is r1, it is r2. So this is your 2 comma minus pi by 6, but this is not my destination. I have to reach to this point. So since this point is lying behind me, I need to step backward. Looking at this direction, I have to step backward, r minus 1, r minus 2, and then I will reach the same point. So this is r minus 2 minus 5 pi 6. So this is the last representation from minus 2 pi to 2 pi of this point for r negative. So overall we have got r2 theta pi by 6 minus 11 pi by 6, r minus 2 theta minus pi by 6, and 7 pi by 6. It was here 7 pi by 6. So in general we can write r equals to 2, theta equals to pi by 6 plus 2 and pi, where n is a 0 plus minus 1, so on. So you can see infinite many representation of same point, that is 2 comma pi by 6 plus 2 and 5. Infinite many representations. Similarly, r is equal to minus 2, same representation of the point, but here now you have minus 5 by 6 plus 2 and 5. Where n varies from 0 plus minus 1 so on. So other representation of the same point is your minus 5 by 6 plus 2 and 5. Yes. So you can see clearly how many representation a single point can have. But usually for our purposes we use these 4 representations. Minus 2 pi theta from minus 2 pi to 2 pi. We usually get 4 representations that we will be working with while we will be going for the plotting of polar curve. So now I hope this all the exercise that we have done here to look for the different representation of point now make it clear to you that how we choose the points on the in polar coordinates, that how to take r negative, what is r negative, how theta they first varies, and how we consider a point on the in the polar coordinates. So next is your yes, it is your graphing in polar coordinates. Graphing in polar coordinates. Before that, we have some 2 notes. First is, let me write these notes as these are important sometimes. AB6 r equals to a and vary theta over interval of length 2 pi, then PR theta traces circle of radius, this one, with center O. So that is if you have been simply given r equals to 2. It means theta, unless or until specified, means theta can take any value. Then in that case, you are simply going to have a circle with center at pole, and this radius r equals to 2. R is 2. Sorry, here a, it is taken as a. So where r is taken, r equals to a. So this is a or mod a, you can say whatever. So this is simply what he is saying, that whenever say you have been given r is equals to 2, this should be r equals to a. When we take radius, then we take mod a. Why? Because radius, that should be positive, it can't be negative. Even if we are taking a negative, radius will be positive. So r equals to 2. If it is given, theta is not mentioned, specified, it simply means it is a circle of radius 2 units. R is 3, 4, whatever. Even if r is negative, that is say r is equal to minus 2. R is equal to minus 2. Even that traces circle of radius 2 of unit 2. So this is your first thing, first note. Second note is this 6 theta equals to theta naught and vary. Now he is fixing theta and varies r from minus infinity to plus infinity. Then in this case it traces circle. Now then point PR theta traces a line through pole O that makes angle theta naught with initial ray. That is now theta is fixed. That is see when we are plotting the points on the polar curve, I have told you that while plotting the polar coordinates, we have only two things. One is your pole and another is your initial ray. These are only two things we have in your polar coordinates. But for our own convenience, because we usually work in Cartesian, so we draw like this one, that is, this is your x, but it is not like this. If even say if I am writing x or y, I am not going to use the concept of Cartesian. In polar, if I am taking your, say, this positive x-axis, so it will be, positive x-axis will be your theta 0 r greater than 0. So this is the representation of a positive x-axis, theta 0, that is you are looking in the direction of theta, and r positive, r greater than 0. So that is your define the positive x-axis. If you are to define your positive y-axis, then it will be theta pi by 2. There are many other representations also, but let me give you one of the simplest, r greater than 0. For theta pi by 2, r is 0. That is, you are looking at the direction of pi by 2 and r is greater than 0. So that represents your positive y-axis, r greater than 0. Because if it is r negative, then you will go to the negative x-axis. Similarly, you can have the same concept for your this negative x-axis and negative y-axis. Even from here, you can generate your negative x-axis by putting r less than 0. By putting x less than 0. Negative y-axis by putting r less than 0. You will get the negative y-axis. So the question we were looking here is that if we fix theta equals to theta naught, so say this is the line theta equals to theta naught, making angle theta naught with the initial ray in anti-clockwise direction, only then theta is positive, and r varies from negative infinity to plus infinity. So r is negative infinity, that is it goes like this one, positive r infinity, negative infinity. So this will be the line that will be traced by p r theta in case theta is fixed. Even if it is nothing given about r, that is basically r varies from, r can take any value. However, if it is mentioned, say r is theta is say pi by 2 and r varies from -1 less than equals to 2, then you have to restrict the length of the value of r, then will restrict the length of your ray. So now this is the second point that we discussed here. So after this one, we have the concept of your graphing in polar coordinates. Graphing in polar coordinates. And what are the steps that we use while because ultimately this is the topic that we need to discuss, that is going to be used in your double integrals. Graphing, where we have to graph the polar curve. So now we come to the main thing, graphing of the polar coordinates. And so it is basically, it is based on, there are some other strategies also for sketching a polar curve, but we are using the three-step strategy here, how we can draw the graph of a polar curve. So graphing in polar coordinates, so let me just make it a little bit clear. Let me write some language so that you can grasp it more properly. The graphing of polar curve we are considering here are of the form r equals to f theta. And the graphing of we will follow three steps. Usually we will be following these three steps while sketching the graph of any polar curve r equals to f theta. There are some other strategies also, but we will be strictly following this one, at least for our case of sketching the polar curve. First is, we look for the symmetry. That whether the given curve is symmetric about x-axis, y-axis or origin. Then we draw the table of r and theta. Based upon the symmetry, whether we get symmetry about x-axis or y-axis or origin, we then sketch the table of r and theta. That depending upon symmetry, we create a table corresponding to this theta, r is this, corresponding to this theta, and usually we take the value of theta, very known values like 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, 120, 135, 150, 180, like this one. And then finally, we sketch the graph. We sketch the graph based upon points 1 and 2. We first plot the points drawn in the table of r theta. We first plot the points using the table r and theta, and then we complete, because usually half the graph is drawn using the points taken from table r and theta, and then half the graph is drawn using the symmetry. So this is the third step, that we now sketch the graph using point 2. From there we took the points, plot it on the polar curve, and then we use symmetry to complete the other half of the graph. So this is a 3-step strategy that we are going to use for the sketching of polar curves. So I think with this, for today's lecture it is fine, and in the next lecture we will start with these 3 steps, that how we can use these 3 steps to sketch the polar curve. Okay, thank you, thanks a lot.